Hey, I thought I would do this one a little different. Well, not really different. Just I'm putting myself out there. I'm just gonna I'm gonna be upfront about something, and that's talking about race. That's talking about things and being myself. That's sometimes that's hard, and I do it consistently. Yeah, but when it comes to doing these posts and whatnot, I don't just grab the microphone and get to talking. I don't do that. I I I I'll stare at the screen like I just did for maybe 20 minutes. Um I have natural stage fright. I just don't like to be in front of people. I've tried it a few times. I've been forced into the situation a few times, and oh, it's yeah, anxiety is, I wouldn't even, that would be putting it lightly. I fight hard not to have a complete episodic breakdown and just fall on the floor, curled up, wishing it all to go away. Um, it's not easy. So when I started doing comparative reasoning, it it I did it because it was a calling. That's what it felt like. I thought it'd be cool to try to make some money on YouTube and stuff, but before I did my first recording, I remember thinking, what's the point? What's the point of making money on YouTube if you're going to not be real about it? So I really thought about things. 2 weeks before my very first recording, I had some deep contemplation. And doing that contemplating, I was just like, listening to the social media that I listened to, which was extremely limited, and kind of still is, because I don't want to spread myself extremely too thin in social media. I usually do it now because I get tired of the silence in the house, so I find something and I'll subscribe and whatnot. It's what I do. It's just to keep the silence away, or the buzzing of the refrigerator or freezer, whichever one that is. Um, so I wanted to make sure that whatever I did was going to be honest. I didn't want to just have clickbait. I could easily do clickbait. It's not hard to do clickbait. Um, but people just care about their views, their numbers, their subscribers, and then that enters a whole new level of elitism, if I even said that right. And I don't want to be that. I don't like the elites. And I got to keep myself from being an elite. So I want to do something different. See, when I first started watching the Young Turks, they were all about, they were on some cable network. I can't remember what it was. Al Jazeera America is taking over that, though. But they were about change, you know, change. It was, what's going wrong? How can we solve it and get change? And I appreciated that. I became a Young Turks fan immediately. No one else on TV was doing that. And I thought that was pretty cool. And I thought, hey, we got something here. Finally. So, yes, I spread the word best that I could. No, I didn't know anything about social media back then. I didn't know. So, to me, spreading the word was telling my parents, telling what family members that I do talk to, telling my woman to do the same thing. Hey, tell them to watch Young Turks. Stop Fox and stop NBC and all this other stuff and CNN. Watch Young Turks. And then they started going towards YouTube. That's what kind of got me towards YouTube. So I listened to them on YouTube, and it was the same. I didn't know about corporations and whatnot, how things change. I didn't know that. So listening to them, they stayed on track. There was always, look, call your governor, call your senator. This is going on, so make sure that your T's are crossed, I's are dotted, Q's are slashed. Make sure all that stuff is going on, and you want to do this and you want to do that. I mean, they were activists, and I was really enjoying that. And I really wanted to get the message out about the Young Turks. They had a purpose, and they wanted to, well, be liber about it, going on Conquering Thought. They wanted to buck the system for change. And that's really what is needed. And not just any change, positive change. So Young Turks started talking about others. They mentioned Kyle Kalinske at some point, much later in years. So I started watching Kyle Kalinske. They talked about Jimmy Dore. They started talking about this and that. And I listened to all of them, and I also started subscribing to them. And I realized something. I am going to be subscribed to so many people, I'm not going to have time for Cedric. You got to have time for yourself. So if you listen to all the social media out there, you don't have time for you. If you want to be on Twitter and in the immediate know, you don't have time for yourself. And that is also a part of the initial of why I'm doing this, to be myself and to let others know you need to be yourself, and you need the truth, and you need solutions. The problem is the Young Turks and Kyle Kalinske and whatnot, they failed. I mean, if you watch Arrow, it's like, you have failed this city. You know, I really thought about things with that. And I think about things with them. And I think about stuff with myself. And I started, so that got me listening to Benjamin Dixon. And I mean, at first I really didn't want to listen. I really didn't. I thought, oh, wow, it's a militant black man that's going to be all about, you know, rise up and we the people and, you know, black power, you know, my brother, bean pie, and all this, you know, all that crap I heard growing up. That was all a bunch of bullshit. So I did listen to him, and I was like, at first, I'm like, okay. He's the very conservative version of me, the me I don't like, but yet he's a voice nonetheless. And then he's talking about, I started listening to him, and I was like, wow, he's pretty much against a lot of what religious people are doing. He's really calling them out. And I like that. That's needed. Things like that are needed. What's your bubble? What's your circle? Look into it, think about it, and be like, wait a minute. This circle is bullshit. And that's a part of me. I'm not going to say where it stems from, because a lot of people don't really go for that. But there's a part of me that I had to break. I had to literally break a part of me so I wouldn't be like all the others. And Benjamin Dixon, when I was listening to him, yeah, at first he sounded like he was trying to buck the system, until I heard the pattern. I heard the pattern that he has, just like the others, which he claims he's not, but he is. So, but for me, before I get to that pattern, I realized I had to break myself. And in breaking myself, I mean that part of me that says, save face at all costs. Don't get embarrassed. And if someone's embarrassing you, go for the jugular. And if you can't, you realize you've been shamed, you've been put down, you've been humiliated for all ages. If one person on YouTube or anywhere in life shames you because they've owned you in an argument or something, then you are absolutely annihilated, because everyone on this entire planet now knows exactly who and what you are, even if that's a lie. If someone owns you in an argument and said, yeah, you know, you're a white supremacist, and all you ever do is care about the conservative side, and they make all these arguments against it, and everyone's believing it, and they're laughing at me and stuff, then I'm like, I'm ruined. There's nothing left. And I mean, literally no hope, depression, all that was set in. And I had to break that save face part of me. It's not completely broken. No, it's not. But I think it's a critical need. So, because when you want to save face, you're going to want to lie. So I don't want to die a liar. See what I'm saying? If anyone of you can follow me on this, I don't want to die a liar. When I die, all I'll have that trails in my wake is my word. What will, if my woman survives me, and most likely she will, which is good but saddening at the same time. Is I'm conflicted on that, but and I don't read too much into that. Just don't. I have a thing when it comes to death. I have a thing, and it's really jacked up. But I'm like, I don't want to, I don't want to sell myself and the truth out. All I got is that, the truth. What is anyone going to say about me when I am gone? You know, what are they going to say? Because that's what echoes. That's what echoes, and hopefully I touch enough people, you know, emotionally, you know, but, and I shouldn't have to clear things up like that, but hopefully enough people hear me and understand me, and maybe there's a lot of people that didn't like certain things. They heard me and started to maybe agree with some of the things I say, and there's some things that people have said up here, and I'm like, wow, you blowing my mind. And you know, Jimmy Whispers come in a lot of times, Concrete Thoughts come in, Pro Social Future, he's said some things, as antagonizing as he is, he's also said some things that are like, oh, I get it. So, it's just, I want to be honest. I need to be honest. And in doing that, that means I need to have standards. I got to have a standard for myself. And that means I have to have a standard for whatever audience I build, because I truly believe nobody wants to hear anything I got to say. I mean, that's what I was raised on. I mean, I was raised hearing that. Nobody wants to hear what you got to say. Nobody cares about what you're doing. Nobody cares what, I mean, literally, if it's about Cedric, it's basically fuck you. So doing this was kind of a way of trying to see if that's true, you know. That's what that is. And for those that have stuck in and listened to me all this time, you know, I'm appreciative, and I don't know exactly how to show that appreciation. I really don't. I want people to understand that I want change. I do. And part of that change comes through talk of race. And some part of it is religion, but predominantly it's race. It's capital greed, it's corporate greed, it's race, it's classism, it's tribalism, it's all of that. And I want to talk about all that and more, you know, maybe like, you know, circumcisions and whatnot at certain points of lives and things like that. You know, I'm going to get to that because I got a big thing of Kialo and their topics building in my emails, so I figured I might start going through those or something and talking about it, just on the subject only, not really any context in there, because Kialo's jacked up, in my opinion. They started off awesome and beautiful, and they got jacked up. And yes, I do get off topic. There's a lot I want to talk about, and I am all over the place. That happens because, you know, I just have very low attention. I really do. You know, and I do my best to stay on topic. If I write it down, then I feel like I'm being fake. I write very few things down. In the beginning, I wrote things down because I needed to. There were people that were deaf that were friends of mine, and everything I wrote down, I would put down the title and put text included just so they could know that, hey, when I'm talking, the words are scrolling on the screen, and that was hard to do. It took a long time to do each video because I just wasn't good at video editing. And then I found out after all those months and all those videos that neither one of them listened to a damn thing I had to say. So I had to scrap it and just talk off the cuff. That's what that is. It's amazing, deaf people not listening to you when they ask you and complain about no one talking. Or when they do talk, you don't put text because, you know, you just don't care about the deaf community. Hey, I care. Deaf community just don't give a shit. So that's what happened with that. And I certainly didn't want to use closed caption because closed caption just don't try to hear everything I say. It's just, and that's part of something else I want to talk about. I'll probably make that a separate post about voices. You know, there's something there that bugs me, so I'll probably make that a separate post very soon. I wanted things to go a certain way, and I know I've been all over the place, but still I'm bringing it back. I'm bringing it back to the Young Turks, and I'm bringing it back to where I was, because I want to not be like the Young Turks or Kyle Kalinske. You know, my calling, as I stated earlier, it was to come up here, but it was also to call them out and call out anybody else that was doing, I would say, not the best things anymore. They're doing it for clicks. They're doing it for subscribers. They're doing it for the revenue. They're not doing it for the love, the passion. They're not doing it for any of that. And that's where I drew my line. I'm like, something's not right. So yes, it took a while to get me to do one post. It took quite a few months before I made my first post from the moment I committed that I want to do this. Also, the underlining main reason is, yes, I did want revenue because I don't have any money. And staying just in the red or going into the red, like deep into the red for us was breaking. And I'm like, I don't have any prospects. I can't work. It'd be nice, but I can't. At this very moment, while recording at 1:42 p.m., September 19th, 2018, I'm having a flare-up, and my right foot is itching like crazy. And normally I would just put it on an ice pack or something like that, but I'm doing this recording. It's not easy doing this. And I do worry constantly. What do my listeners think? What do the viewers think? And I always want you to put down your comments and whatnot. Let me know how you feel, and to always critique what I do. Let me know what I've done right. Let me know what I've done wrong. Not about if you agree with me or disagree, but just let me know so I can put out better content. Doing an entire production to get video and stuff up is difficult. So when I watch the Young Turks and Kyle Kalinske and they do all the videos and they do all this other stuff, and I'm like, that's great. But the problem is you stop caring about the people. It's strange, but they don't care about the people. And I want to call it out every time they do. I did one on Jordan Sheraton. That caught me some flack, but I'm not going to back down because that let me know what the Young Turks have thought all this time. And I was like, you're full of shit. And it pissed me off. And I said in the video then, in a fit of anger, that, I just want to slap the shit out of somebody. Mainly Jordan not Peterson, well, yeah, slap the shit out of him. But Jordan Sheraton. I want to slap the shit out of him. I want to slap the shit out of everybody at TYT for that assumption. And it ticked me off. And I did a production on that one. So that one has visuals and whatnot, but still, I was angry. And that's the other part of this, being angry. It's also the one I want to do about voices, but there are times I do get angry. And being angry is a human emotion. It's also an expression of deep-seated complaints. And it also says that somebody feels so wronged, or they see something so wronged that they strongly want to make it better. That's the whole point of a lot of things. I don't know exactly if I'm doing the right thing or if I'm doing the wrong thing with anything that I do. I mean, that's all perspective, isn't it? So I just want to do the right thing, not for any particular person, but for everybody. I want to lay out there how I felt about finances and whatnot. So I did the thing on if I was president of the United States. And I do my best to talk about and separate I talk about race, but I also try to separate. There's a difference between just white people and white racists. The same as black people and black racists. Now, yeah, there are black racists out there. And I said it in other posts, and I'll say it in this post. Fuck them. If you're a racist, you're just hurting everybody, and including yourself and those around you, with your hate. And I want that to be known. I don't think what I don't want people to do is think that I'm on the side of white people. I'm on the side of black people. The most I can be on is the side of Cedric. That's pretty much it. And what Cedric wants is for everybody to be okay. It's selfish. Yeah, at the end of the day, it's selfish. Yeah, I said that line. I try not to say it at the end of the day. But, you know, what it sums up to is, I think that's where I start. What it sums up to is, I want everybody to be okay, but only those who are decent. And I don't want to be an elitist and say, well, if you're not on my side, then you don't get the time of day. If you're not in my group of people, if you're not in my circle of beliefs or thoughts or ways, then you don't get the time of day. If you don't make this certain amount of money or views or clicks or whatnot, then you don't get that time of day. I don't want that. I want better than that. And I need to be better to ensure it, even if I'm the only one that's going to do it. I wanted people to get started doing their own channels because I felt that what they had to say was important, far more important than what I was saying. And so far, I've been accurate. I've listened to them. And I thank you every time you do a video. I don't write it. I just listen. And when it's over, I just smile. I'm happy. And I just say thank you in my head, or I might say it verbally. And I keep cheering them on. And you know who you are. I'm not trying to toot my own horn, so I'm not going to call anyone out. But I'm just saying, for those that I might have sparked to do their own channel or whatnot and that have done it, thank you. And I appreciate it. And others don't appreciate it right now, but they will. Because you can get with the elites or you can get with reality. And the elites don't seem to be about reality. They just seem to be about their inner circle. And that's not cool. That's all I'm going to say about this. This has gone almost 18 minutes. And I try not to make them that long. So that's where I'll end it. So this is Cedric Kennedy for Comparative Reasoning. Thank you for listening.